Hey guys, it is day 4 of our 5-day water fast, and it's also Health Nibble number 77. And we are just going to fill you in on how we're feeling today, and then Dr. Nagel is going to go into what to expect if you are doing a water fast on day 4, and then also what to expect for day 5 and breaking the fast. So let's get Dr. Nagel in here. So tell us about your day on day 4.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I'm definitely ready to eat. It really wasn't that big of a deal. I did feel that I have a really physical job, and so I was challenged a little bit. My blood sugar would go up, so I know I was recruiting a little muscle or something, which brings my ketones down a little bit. But it's just it's not ideal to have a busy chiropractor like I am, and on a 10-hour shift, it's like working construction. So It's super, super physical, but I still stayed in a pretty good range, and I'll show you that here in a minute.
Okay, and for me, I woke up, my ketones were 5.1, and I was floating on air, everything, I had no stress, everything felt really good. We're gonna show you my ketones did drop a little bit, but I still am feeling good. Don't really feel hungry. It's just strange that I'm not eating, if that makes sense. So like I'm preparing meals for my kids, and so we're not partaking in any of that. So that's just kind of a strange feeling, but it really hasn't been too bad. I feel really good today.
Yeah, I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yep, there we go.
Good signal now?
Good signal.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this chart that we did yesterday, which was, glucose, you have to convert it, you divide it by 18, and ketones, and to get that 1-to-1 ratio is where you still really start wiping out cancer, and you have lots of benefits not getting to that one before you get to that point, but tons of benefits, but that's always a goal for us when we go into a 5-day fast, because if you did that once or twice a year, you drastically decrease your chance of cancer. So theoretically, that's not been studied yet, but I don't think it has. So if you look here, this was Erin's yesterday. She was at 64 and 3.3. And then that when we convert the glucose, it's 3.5. So she was past that 1-to-1 ratio. Actually, you weren't quite there, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, she wasn't quite there. And then today, when we convert 61 to 3.4, and then her ketones are at 4.6, and as she said earlier, they were like in the 5s, I think, right?
That's 5.1.
5.1.
Yeah.
So she's way into this range, which is amazing for health benefits. And so, when you're thinking about, man, I just like some food, and you think about she's going to spend 2 days in this cancer gobbling mode. I mean, what a great thing. So, and I say that because, when people get diagnosed with cancer, a lot of times they've had cancer for 10 years. So you have chronically lowered immunity plus toxicity, turns on bad genes, we've talked about that a bunch. So, putting yourself in a state where it would gobble cancer up periodically, which in our hunter-gatherer ancestors would have done that. They would have had fasting every spring, not on purpose, but just because they wouldn't have food. So we have to do it on purpose. We also have to add activity because we're not constantly hunting and gathering. So when you look here on mine, yesterday I was at 77. So that's a 4.27. So I had a little ways to go. Today I was at 771, which equals 3.9, and then my ketones were at 3.3. Earlier today, my ketones are at 3.9, and my blood sugar was a little higher. So here's here's a point to this, is my day is very physical. So I'm burning my ketones. So there's another way to measure ketones, which is you can do it with a breath test, and we have one at our office. We just don't have it calibrated. But that would show what I'm actually burning. And so if that was high, we would know that I'm burning ketones. So I feel good about this because I knew that halfway through the day, even though I had a busy first half of the day, still at 3.9, and now I'm at 3.3 with lower blood sugar, that tells me I'm probably in that range. So
it's also a good point, like when you're doing a 5-day water fast, to just not exercise and just relax during, take it easy during that time.
Yeah, it's a time of rest, but I just can't. I have patients to take care of. So, so another point, we always talk about the cell and toxins in the cell, but if you remember, we talk about inflammation. So we measure inflammation in our office, and one way you can measure inflammation is a blood test called CRP, and that's more like global chronic inflammation. We measure it's called a med-oxy test. It measures an aldehyde that comes from oxidation of the cell membrane. So it measures true cellular inflammation. It's 50 times more accurate for cellular inflammation than CRP, so C-reactive protein. So I took some today. So I took two. I took one from a client, one of our functional health clients, or detox. And most of the time people come in, so 6 and 7 is high. Now this is sat for a few hours, so it moves itself up to
It's a little darker.
a 7. So it was probably a 6 before. But still, this is the majority of the people that come in, it takes months for them to get the toxins out of their body and get this cellular inflammation down. So mine is also pinker, and I did this twice just to make sure I didn't have a bad batch. But you can see that there's just a little pink, and it was lighter than that before. So, my point here is that these strategies, these multi-therapeutic strategies of detoxification and diet and gut health, putting those all together, and it's a different strategy for everybody, but those are the three main pillars or the legs of the stool. It works.
So what did you, when you first did your med-oxy before you got your detox and everything?
Yeah.
What were you
Yeah, so this is pretty much what I looked like
when you first started?
When I first started. And I can tell you that I've been a pretty healthy dude for a long time. Probably, I've eaten clean for, probably 17 years, I would say. And it still wasn't enough. And I talked about being high in lead and mercury, but it still wasn't enough. But now you can see, we're getting there, right?
With the detox and the fasting just...
With the detox and the fasting, it really cleans you up.
Yep.
So it's a huge part of it. It's not the only part. So we always say you can't get there with diet only, but you can't get there without the diet either. You can't just detox and not do the diet. Good. So next page. So I'm just going to tear this off because this is the last time we're going to look at this. And you can tell that I did not write this. This is Aaron's handwriting.
It's not too pretty either, but it works.
It's very nice. So, day 1 after your fast. So we're at day 4. We're right at the end. We just have tomorrow. Aaron and I, we started at night, or last meal was Saturday night. So tomorrow night we're going to eat, and so we're just going to eat one meal. If a person doesn't, just according to when you start, that's when you have your one meal. I know that some people on the fast started like Sunday. They had a meal Sunday morning, and then so you would probably have your meals together. Like you could probably do 2 meals, spread it out, one in the morning and then one really late at night, and then the next day would be your day 2. So anyway, day 1, you want to keep your caloric load down, and this is really important because you put all this work in and you're thinking about food all week, and that's about as bad as it gets, but it's a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of willpower. So you put all that work in, and then if you just go blow it out and
eat whatever you
eat whatever you want because you've been thinking about food all week, you've screwed up all the. It'll stop your growth hormone. It'll stop your stem cells. These couple days are really important. Like tomorrow is when everything skyrockets. So your day 5, you get the awesome growth hormone and stem cells, and and the other part is the microbiome. Remember, it kills off all the microbiome, so it starves it. So now's the time to reseed, reinoculate. So what you want to do is the women eat 500 to 800 calories for their first meal. So after work tomorrow, this is what Aaron will eat. I'll probably eat a little more, but eat the same stuff. Food that you eat, you want to eat soft veggies. So you think, oh, raw broccoli, it's so good for you. Or cauliflower, but it's too hard on the digestive system right now because it's been basically turned off. So, steamed stuff, grass-fed organic cultured cottage cheese. So,
or just cheese.
What's that?
You could do grass-fed organic cultured cheese or
cultured cheese, or cottage cheese. I mean, anything like that that's cultured, that's going to help reset the microbiome. Fermented veggies, so we use kimchi and actually mix those together with the cottage cheese. That's really good. But and I don't actually love fermented vegetables, but when I'm done with my day 5, they are amazing. They have so much flavor. Oh my gosh, they're so good.
Yeah.
So actually, the last time I ate fermented vegetables was at the end of our fast in June. So good fats, so avocados, you can do berries. Those are light on the digestive system and just some healthy fat. So coconut oil, olive oil, ghee is a good healthy fat. So that's what you want. That's what you want to prepare. That when you go to the store, this is what you want for your first meal. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. So day 2. And by the way, could be a partial fast. So if you wanted to keep going on a fast, but not like keep doing this, if you were functioning pretty well, one way to tell is if your tongue.
You see how his tongue is white?
It's white, and so when your body needs to eat, it'll turn pink. When it's white, you're good to go. All right. So you can continue on this sort of diet.
It's just going to extend everything.
It's going to extend everything. It's going to get, the autophagy, the stem cells, the growth hormone, all of that stuff. And if this is a decent weight loss strategy too. So day 2, you're going to bump it up. So you're going to bump the calories up a little bit. But you can start eating eggs, salads. You may want to eat, if you're going to do salads, you may want to if you're going to do spinach, that's a bit of an irritant. Grind it up into a smoothie. Nuts and seeds.
It's a good idea on day 2 to intermittent fast. So on our day 2, I'm sure we're going to wake up and have a cup of black coffee.
Probably have coffee in the morning and then just not eat till
1 o'clock.
1 or 2. We do that 5 days a week anyway. We usually do that, and then a feast day and a fast day during the week. So this day 2, we're going to intermittent fast. That's going to keep all that stuff rolling. So we don't screw up all the benefits we had in the first 5 days. And then day 3, you can pretty much go back to eating normal, and then that's when you add meat. So meat's a little harder to digest, so you want to get that digestive tract and your stomach acid, really the stomach acid, everything ramp back up before you start throwing some meat in there. So this is where my steak tips from the fair will come in.
That you're so looking forward to.
I'm so looking forward to it. But so I think that's it. So that's your health nibble for the day. Hopefully that helps you prepare for the finishing up your fast.
Okay. We'll see you tomorrow.